Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy to see every one of you here today. Happy to have you here and to feel your presence. Those of you that are on Zoom, welcome. And we will be muting you until after the service. Blessings to you. Welcome to Wellspring, to the very well of love. And may the springs within you flow, and you feel the presence of Spirit. My name is Shirley Angel Love, and I'm your pulpit assistant for today, kind of guiding you along the way. We have some announcements. Early birds meet Sunday mornings at 9:30 by way of Zoom. We're sharing a wonderful book, The Four Agreements, by Don Miguel Ruiz. We meet at 9:30 on Zoom, or some come and meet in the fellowship hall. Our upcoming speakers for November, today we're blessed with Reverend Sandhi. Yes. And next week will be Dr. Edward. And on 11/19 will be Reverend Kamatara. And on 11/26 will be Peggy Shin. And we love to eat together, so our lunch bunch is going to be this Wednesday, 11/8 at 11:30 at Cracker Barrel. Come and join us. Come and dine together with us. This Wednesday, our Board of Trustees will meet on Zoom. We invite all of you to participate as we do the business of our beloved Wellspring. If you would like to connect, it's by Zoom. You can get in touch with Edward. Thursday evening, we continue to meet, and we meet at 7 p.m., either by Zoom or in the fellowship hall. And we're sharing missing links, and Greg Braden is our facilitator. We're learning so much. And then in November, New Horizons Band will be in concert, and that's on Monday. And at 3 p.m. Oh, it's today. 3 o'clock. Wow. Okay, today at 3 o'clock. And our own Judy is the director, I believe. Okay, we send her a lot of love and peace, don't we? It's at the Atkinson's Hall, and it is free. On Sunday, November 12th, next Sunday, we will be celebrating our birthday. And I think that we have been together since 2002. So we're going to share and celebrate our time together. Everyone is welcome. Afterwards, we'll have a salad luncheon, I believe it is, and birthday cake, and conversation and gratitude. And then on the 18th, boy, we're just full of announcements, aren't we? Full of opportunities. On November 18th, from 12:30 to 4, is our dowsing class over in the fellowship hall. And the fee, the love offering, is $25. And last but not least, every Tuesday, 3 New Thought groups join together in prayer for your requests. They meet at 4:15 on Zoom, and that's a good time if you put a request in to be still and join with them as they pray with you and with others. We know that prayer works. Every one of us have had wonderful answers to prayer, haven't we? Okay, so now is the time for our invocation. Oh, as we come together this morning, we feel the presence of divine love. And we're so thankful. I feel your presence here and on Zoom, and those that are listening by recording. In this very now, we are together. This morning, I greet Mother, Father, God, the angels, the archangels, the ascended masters, the beings of light in the realms of illumined truth. Thank you so much for being here. We feel your presence. And as we go forth this day, in this very moment, the very love that we are, we're sending out to all of our brothers and sisters, all men, all women, all boys, all girls. We send out this love. We are one with you in the very core, as we are truly spirit playing human. So we call forth the peace that passes all understanding. And at the same time, we open our hearts to have pure, clear understanding and to feel the presence of love in every one of us. We are so blessed. We bless our speaker today. We bless our music. We bless the technicians that help make it possible. And I call for a blessing for every one of you, every one of us. And so it is. Okay, so I think it's our time for joy. A song of joy, isn't it? If you feel comfortable and would like to stand, we'd be happy for you to do that. Maybe you can feel the joy coming up from the soles of your feet, up over your head, and all around you. This is my perfect world, and to my listening ears, all nature sings, and round me rings the music of the spheres. This is my perfect world. I'm resting in the thought of rocks and trees, of skies and seas. The spirit sings, praise, my heart is glad. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I thought it was going to be joy, 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 so I didn't look around. Yeah, yeah. Well, we're in for surprises, aren't we? Okay, and so now is the time for our vision, our mission, and our affirmation. Our vision: elevate spiritual consciousness in our world. Our mission: to support individual spiritual quests through celebration, study, counsel, loving fellowship, and service. And our affirmation: this month I turn my thoughts to gratitude. I know that my highest and best is expressing through every activity and experience in my life. Right. And so it is. Yes. Thank you. All right. And so I think now it's for our wonderful Teresa. Thank you. Thank you. Let's bless her before she gets here.
Thank you so much, and I love Wellspring. It's so great to be here, and hello to Reverend Edward. I guess he's on vacation somewhere with his wonderful partner. Oh, is my speaker on? My speaker is on. And I'm so grateful to be asked to be here, where I can put my songs to my real intent always, which is to serve the highest I can within me. And it's so wonderful to be here with Sandhi, who I love and who I've known for many, many years. So, you approach me. What is it? Okay. Oh, you can't really hear me? Sort of. That ought to do it. Okay, all right. So I was thinking about what to do today, and I'm going to start with this song. I don't know about you, but I've been really off the last few days, weeks, which is, I think we're all affected. Perhaps you are. I know that I have been by the news, and my heart's been breaking, and I have to acknowledge that. But I also know that there's a higher principle at work in my life, in yours, and no matter how it seems, we have this principle to hold on to, and that's love. And we know that love is the greatest power on earth. So this is a little musing on that. We're all standing by the roadside. Children, raise your banners high, welcoming our heroes home, the ones that did not die. We're like one big happy family now. You could easily be my kin. I cannot tell where my happy heart ends and yours begins. I believe love will show us how. I believe we don't know by now. I believe if you're too lost to pray, I believe
love will show the way. Welcome to our weary heroes. Welcome home from foreign shores, from stars and galaxies and depots and bars, and all your private wars. Who knows what demons you have faced and fought? Who knows what brave things you have done? What battles even now are raging in your heart, and which are yet to come? I believe love will show us how. I believe if we don't know by now. I believe if you're too lost to pray, I believe love will show the way. I believe love will show the way. Love will show the way.
That was wonderful, Teresa. And you're a very picture of love. And all of you here are. And so now it is time for our reading. I knew I was let know that I was the Pope's assistant about an hour ago. So I am going to read. I asked Spirit for a quick bit of information, a quick guidance. I'm going to read to you today from A Course of Love. And the title is The Time of Tenderness. Where you learn to hate, you are learning to love. We are, aren't we? Where we learned to fear, we are learning safety. Where we learned to distrust, we are learning to trust. And each learning experience will be a learning experience because it touches our heart. It may be as simple as a smile from a child that will melt away the resentment of your own childhood memories, because you allow the smile to touch your heart. It may be a time of weepiness, and when you would term what you would term emotionalism. You may feel as if everything makes you want to cry, because everything will touch you. It's touching us, isn't it? Each lesson will feel tender. Unlearning has no harshness about it. we're letting go of a lot, aren't we? If you simply allow it to come, it will reward you constantly with what can best be described as tenderness. The time to resist tenderness is over. The time to resist the tears of weariness is over. This is the time for the embrace. These feelings of tenderness can be seen as a sign. Let them alert you that unlearning is taking place. Welcome them as harbingers of this good news. Know that the time of tenderness is a sure path for the way home. The time of tenderness precedes the time of peace and is the forerunner of compassion. So I ask a blessing on this word, and it is my way of planting a seed in your hearts today. We're so blessed this morning to have Reverend Sandhi once again. And so I greet you and welcome you to come forth.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Shirley. Oh, okay. I thought my prop was missing. Good morning, everybody. My name's Sandhi Scott. I'm here for joy and happiness. And I love Ernest Holmes' saying from the Sermon on the Mount, see what you want to see. Show me a person who's for something and against nothing. So I'm for fully enjoying life and being my authentic self. And it's taken me decades. She can prove it, and almost a decade. We'll have a decade this January, this poor lady. pray for her. If you could have seen me this morning getting ready, you wouldn't have come. I mean, I had notes and notes, and I couldn't get it boiled down, and usually I have it boiled down by the night before. But when I'm jangly, it usually turns out okay, so I'm giving you some hope. Being here is just incredible. I've never had an experience like this, and I've been in lots and lots of churches. I've been senior minister, assistant minister, associate minister, founding minister, and here I was, suffering minister. I had a lot to work through when I got here, and a woman told me, if you move to Las Cruces, there's a vortex here, a very powerful vortex, and if you don't face your issues, it will grind you up and spit you out. So I was ground, but I'm not spit out yet. I'm hanging in there, and I love living in Las Cruces. I love Wellspring because it's serene. It is the real deal. It is New Thought, so all paths are welcome and honored and respected. I thank everybody that's here this morning in person. It takes an effort. Everybody looks beautiful, truly. And I thank people on Zoom for tuning in. I only got on the internet with COVID because I needed to go to meetings online. And it was a real challenge for me. And if it is for you, thank you for being here. And for people that are watching this on archives, you never know what this energy will do. That I hope what I offer today has something that will give you another tool or polish a tool that you've had but you haven't taken out of your spiritual tool chest for a while. So my intention is to offer something that's interesting, and I want to get my goof out of the way. I always bring something. Well, it's in the bedroom, and it's, I'll tell you what it is later. Anyway, I had to get over that real fast. And you know why I forgot it? Because I was supposed to. Now I accept things. It's the way it is. It's no other way than the way it is. What's the best shot with what I've got? To move on, Loretta, and have a good time and hope other people do too. So the topic today is, it was holiday prep. I was going to do death, and I decided, let's do holidays. And because I love death. I really do. My work with death saved my life and gave me a purpose and gave me myself. So we're not going to do that today. We're going to talk about holiday prep, how to stay balanced in the holidays. You know, I don't know anyone that can get through the holidays without some little irritation. If it's the music in the store or getting behind huge baskets of crap that, excuse me, of wonderful things people are buying forever. I don't know what it is for you, but I resisted Christmas for a long time. I was even evil about it. I'm not Christian. I'm not going to, who cares? But my family blew apart, and I had an amazing family. I mean, one of those 1950s families where we really loved each other, and we liked each other, and Christmas was just, it was unbelievably wonderful. It was Norman Rockwell, truly. It does exist. And then it blew apart when I was 12. And from then on, my grandfather died December 12th when I was 12. And he was the only adult that I could relate to and that listened to me. Hopefully everybody has one of those. Whether if your parents didn't get it, somebody got you. Somebody winked at you, and somebody, you know, just knew, like, you and me, baby, we're going to make it. It was like that. When I lost him and my family, I wasn't allowed to visit my family. I decided Christmas was too painful, and so I ignored it. Then I started working with people that were dying, and for around 10 years, I held Christmas celebrations for people who were never going to see another one. And that will get you out of yourself. We're going to talk a lot about self today. Because I loved them so much, and I wanted to lift them so badly that I had the honor to spend the last Christmases with over 300 people that died. And we'd fill the house on Christmas, and we'd have a big feast and have a great time. New Year's was worse because they weren't going to be here. And I said, who wants to go out to the hospice for a New Year's Eve party? Zip. We had a sense of humor. Anyway, I got back by giving. And giving to me is the only relief from pain. If you don't take any substances, if you have an addictive body, my only way out of pain is to serve others. It's the only legal, non-addictive way, surefire way of getting out of myself. We're going to talk about S's today, the S of self. There's capital S, self, which is your spirit self, who you were before you were born, and who you will be when you leave the body, I believe. And so spirit is capital S, and the personalized self. Is this ringing loud or something? Is there some? Okay. I'm annoying myself, I guess. Anyway, capital S self and little s self. And with the Upanishads, in a couple of them, it says self is everything. Self is Om, self is the all, self is the one. Ernest Om said on page 133, oh, that's better. Thank you. Thank you. You're just the best, Edwin. On page 133, he wrote, one, capital letters, exclamation point, one. And if I can get that, I can get everything. And that's what's really driven home with the Upanishads. And self is, I see the S, the capital S, embracing my little s. And once there's a story, you may have heard it, but just bear with me. A monk was walking along the way, and he watched a snake bite a person, and the person died. And he said, oh, Mr. Snake, you can't do that anymore. So you just can't bite people. You cannot promise me that you won't bite people anymore. You're not here to bite people. You're here to use your teeth to eat what you're supposed to eat, but not human beings. So you better stop. He said, okay, I will. You seem to be a holy man, and I'll do my best. So then a couple of weeks later, he was in the same place, and the snake was just about dead. He was starving. He had been beaten. He had slashes on his back. He was totally destroyed, except he was breathing. He said, oh, what happened, Mr. Snake? He said, well, you said not to bite them, and so they've been attacking me. He said, I told you not to bite. I didn't tell you not to hiss. So we're talking about S today. So, and I hissed in L.A. when I was in a hospital elevator, and the doctors were, it was the early days when we were still afraid, And the doctors were talking about this patient in a really derogatory way, really evil. And I was training myself not to react and not to get mad at people saying whatever they want to say. It was none of my business. So they were going on, and finally I just went, and they were so shocked, they stopped. So I hissed too. It was better than yelling at them and then having to make amends. That's a drag. Okay, so balance during the holidays. We can do this. We can be in the bubble. We can decide what we want right now. We can reinvent the holidays. About 15, 20 years ago, I gave up giving gifts. I didn't want to do it anymore. I love giving gifts, but not on call. And the commercialism, I don't go on and on about it, but it really has gone pretty far away from the Christ spirit or solstice that I love. To me, it's all about light. Christ means light. Solstice is light. Hanukkah is light. Light. It's life. It's everything. It's Om. So a wonderful, what do you call it? Symbol of balance is this, right? You all know this? The yin yang or yin yang. And it has, the wonderful thing about it to me is I have a little bit of evil in me when I'm being good. And when I'm being bad, I have a little bit of good in me. And that's what these mean. And this is the feminine. I always thought the white was feminine. But this is the feminine, and it's the receptive, passive. It's the moon, and this is the masculine, the active, action, the sun. And the balance is just so beautiful on it. It isn't, please don't look closely because I did it, and it's just a mess. I mean, I messed this up, so this is white, thick white paint, and it's not, I did my best. Anyway, it's a great sign to have around, just to remind me to balance out. You have a little bit of him, you have a little bit of her. We're all in this together. We're all doing our best. Let's get off each other's back, right? And take your hands off your throat, please. So with the yin yang, this is my show and tell, my PowerPoint again, my sophisticated. So this is the yin yang, right? And when it's like this, it can't roll. It can't roll. It just goes bang, 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 bang. But when we come together, when we accept that little bit of this and a little bit of that, when we know that the S is the river of life to me, and so when we're together, we're fine. I kept cutting and never got it right, but close enough, right? So when we do this, it's like too much of this would be. Terry Cole Whitaker was a great minister. She said, "Watch out for the sticky sweet ones. They're axe murderers." You know when someone is just sticky, sticky sweet, and you know that they're glaring with their eyes, but with their mouth they're talking something else like that. It's too much. Let's have a little truth telling here. And then if you're out of balance over here, you're nasty and you say things that you shouldn't say and you do things you shouldn't do. But when we're here, we have a chance to just accept ourselves just the way we are. Terry's marriage ceremony, and I adopted it too. She said, "Do you accept Ron just as he is and just as he is not?" And I like that I can accept myself just the way I am, just the way I'm not. When I'm out of balance, I go back to the S. When I'm upset, I know that I'm out of balance. It just doesn't work. I always say that life is infinite energy, and it expresses through us, me. I'll speak for me because I don't know what you believe. I respect you for whatever you believe. But I believe infinite energy moves through my body, and I sense it with my 5 senses. All 5 senses are on your head. If you do this, that's all 5 senses. So I sense something, then I think something, then I make up a story about it. I decide what it is and what it isn't. And then that's the frequency on which I express and experience my life. So if I set a high frequency for the day, I don't have to get derailed. When people talk about war, I say I'm sorry. That's not a topic for me. I'm not up to that. And if someone starts talking about upsetting things, I try to be as polite as I can. But I said that isn't something I talk about, and it might upset people. I don't speak about politics. I don't speak about things that upset me. maybe it's Pollyanna, but I'm sure happier now that I focus on the good and I see through to the truth of every being. Like if you see just this in someone, you're judging, you're gossiping, you're making it up. And if you're like this for someone, you're enabling them and you're not getting rid. You have to leave some relationships, correct? It becomes, instead of just being kind and tolerant, it becomes toxic and you become an enabler and you're not helping them or you. Because if your energy really drops with someone, I started to say, like, us together today, you on Zoom, I adore you. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. The people on Zoom, the people on Archive, we don't know what this energy is going to do. We're going to lift the energy. We've already lifted the energy with everything that's happened here. The team here is just amazing. So getting out of balance is okay because we know what to do about it. We know how to get in and out of trouble. I certainly knew how to get in a lot. This is from Ernest Holmes' gem. I call it his pearl. This thing called You. And I've read it a few times. It's marked up a little bit too. Chapter 8 that Edward read from and I spoke about. This says, it is the spirit in you seeking an avenue of expression through you. It is the real self, capital S, he uses capital S, you would like to be. The deep spiritual self having all knowledge, having access to all power, being one with life. This is the self that can heal the sick and raise the dead. It is a transcendent, triumphant self. So let's say I am a transcendent, triumphant self. Together, I am a transcendent, triumphant self. And you are. And at this point, I would be my little jar, I'd give it to Teresa, and you would have a black rock and a white rock. I'm so disappointed that I have it. I'm trying not to be. Anyway, the black and the white. And to feel the white is, if you come the next time I speak, I'm not going to promise, but I hope I'll bring them. Because the white is quartz and the black is these, those oval smooth stones they use for gardening. Well, there's a beach in Oaxaca, San Quintin Bay down in Baja where we used to go once a month to get away from death. And there was a beach of those rocks. Can you imagine? I mean, it was the black, smooth rocks. And the waves would go, and just all black, smooth rocks. So we started taking some. We got yelled at. I said, it's God's beach, isn't it? I'm taking some. I mean, look how many you have. Come on now. So Ernest Holmes talks a lot about the urge to express. We all have a desire. We want to express. We want to be accepted. We want attention. In the S training, I heard for the first time, this man, it's a given, you want attention. I thought, oh, no, not me. It wasn't safe to get attention around my mother, truly. And if I got attention from other people, she would bend it over to herself. So getting attention, doing anything like this was just unbelievably impossible, not on the charts. So if you had that, it's time to come out and play. The world wants you. The world's ready for you. You have a gift, and you're hoarding if you're not giving your gift. I believe that was judgmental, wasn't it? Okay, so then this other book I love is called The Letters of the Scattered Brotherhood. I bought it in 1980 with Marcia Mendiza. Is anyone? Amazing minister, amazing. She was so inspiring. I had just gotten my practitioner license. And on this day, I decided to be a minister. And these are channeled letters. They're gathered by Mary Strong, Letters of the Scattered Brotherhood. And it's a plop book. You can plop it and open it to any page, and boom, oh God, I lost the page. Okay, well, I remembered the line I wanted to tell from it. It said, try not to be startled by daily living. And I love the word startle. It's like, it is startling to live these days, isn't it? Are you not startled every dong day? It's startling to me what we're doing with money, what we're doing with children. We say children are our future. Look how we teach their teachers. Anyway, I'm beginning to rant. That's not good. Back to self. Okay, so S is the river between the energies of life. You know, evil people are necessary. Sometimes in my program, I say, somebody's got to give resentments. I'm only too happy to oblige. We will get resentments. We will blow it. We will get out of balance again. And the nice thing about this guru I studied with for a while, Arlo Guthrie is my Dharma brother. We served people with him. And she said she was in India, and this guy said, I'll tell you the secret to life. And she said, I have my guru. I just get out of my campground. I have my answer to life. I don't want your answer. He goes, so what? And she goes, yeah, so what? He goes, that is the answer to life. So what? So if we could do so what when we get out of balance, so what? What's the answer? What is the answer? Union, self, one. That's the answer. So with the Upanishads, it's just have been knocking me out. I never planned to read them. I just happened to have. I love Aurobindo. So did Ernest Holmes. He studied with him. Aurobindo's an amazing author and guru. He's amazing. Anyway, so I said, oh, Aurobindo wrote this. I'll have to buy it. Boom. Okay, the Chandogya Upanishads, they're usually, I have about 5 translations, and they always have 10 major Upanishads. There are hundreds of them. And they were written before the Bhagavad Gita, probably around 1200. And this one starts out with, let us meditate on Om, the imperishable, the beginning of prayer. Om is the self of all. So again, we have Om. You know I love Om. And we have Om again. And Om means all. Om means self. It says somewhere in here too that self is Om. So the self, who is life, light, truth, space, who gives rise to all works, all desires, all odors, all tastes, who is beyond words, who is joy, abiding, this is the self dwelling in my heart. So we have that S, whatever you call it. If you call it God, if you call it, I don't know, what other words do we use? Source, force, spirit, of course, spirit. So one more. Christ light. This is interesting. In the beginning was only being, capital B, one without a second. Out of himself he brought forth the cosmos and entered into everything in it. There is nothing that does not come from him. Of everything he is the inmost self. He is the truth. He is the self supreme. You are that. You are that. And this chapter has 16 explanations of self and life, and it ends with Tat Tvam Asi. And that's one of the most important phrases because it means you are that. You are that. You are that. And when you see something that you don't want to be, that you don't want to relate to, you go neti, neti. Let's say that. Neti, neti. Let's say Tat Tvam Asi. Tat Tvam Asi. And the last thing is this in this book, there's a story of a young man who goes traveling, and he goes to the finest schools, and he's very, very educated, and he comes home to his father, and he said, well, I did it. I went to the schools. I got amazing grades. I have a career. I'm finally there where I want to be. And the father said, well, did they teach you the one thing that gives you the answer to everything on earth? He goes, no. Will you teach me? He said, yes, it is. Know the self as the source of life. That's ancient wisdom, and it makes sense to me. How about you? Yeah, that source, if we take it back, cause and effect, everything you see, touch, feel, smell, see, hear, everything you sense is temporary. Everything you sense came from infinite energy source. So when someone's acting out, simply go through to the truth of his being. Who you are is who you were before you were born. You just got layered with a personality. And you made up a way of living. You thought you were safe, but I wasn't. I thought I had a wall that I thought protected me, and it just blocked me. So we're safe and we're loved, and it's time to come out and play. So I don't know if you can see this, but this is a balance thing. And I think it's kind of cool because in the middle, there's perfect balance with the Om is on the teeter-totter right in the middle. Here, it's out of balance with darkness, moon, depression. Here it's out of balance with light, sun, elation. You know, you can get too excited. You can go too far. It's like, you know, take it down a notch, will you? So this is where mindfulness, this is minus, this is equal, this is plus. This is where I want to live. How about you? Okay, so let's do some private stuff. Go into your favorite place to be with self, be with your stillness that you love, that gets you where you want to be the minute you do it. And by the way, happy 50th birthday, Kamatara. Imagine you have a white stone and a black stone in each hand. And notice which hand you put the black stone in. And notice how it feels. And notice the quartz and how it feels. The weight, the texture, the differences. And then put your hands together and put them together. And see if you can sense balance. And see if you'd want to keep these stones with you, which you'll get next time. See if you want to keep these stones with you, just to remember, where am I? Am I in balance? Am I a little with the black stone too much? Am I with the white stone? Where am I right now? And where do I get where I want to be in that river of life between the yin and the yang? That river of life, it's the S, the capital S, that embraces and loves and is tender with the little s. It understands that the little s is a little messed up. Being a human isn't easy. Having a personality isn't easy, but it can change as everything changes, but the capital S. And so we are in self today. And we greet the self in everyone. Namaste means the light in me greets the light in you. So let's close with 3 Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's all look to the aisle and say to each other, Namaste, the light in me greets the light in you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Teresa, we'd be happy for you to entertain us again.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
That was wonderful. Appreciate you so much.
Ditto. Oh.
Sometimes you meet a stranger who's more like family than your own. Nod of the head, a little twinkle in the eye, and you know you're no longer all alone. At the bend in the road is a lovely sunset, the perfect end to the dream of day. I know we're not the ones in charge of the sunset. It must be love that made it that way. On the desert plain, the cactus flower is blooming. The nightingale's song seems to to say. If flowers can bloom out here on the blazing desert, it must be love that made it that way. Now when you see that stranger, don't be afraid to offer him your hand. You know, it's an old trick of angels to come down here to earth, all decked out like a man. At the bending road is a lovely sunset, the perfect end to the dream of day. I know we're not the ones in charge of the sunset. It must be love that made it that way. On the desert plain, the cactus flower is blooming. The nightingale song seems to say, if flowers can bloom out here on the blazing desert, it must be love that made it that way. If flowers can bloom out here on the blazing desert, it must be love that made it that way. Love that made it that way.
All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Teresa. And thank you, Reverend Sandy. Wonderful. We're so blessed. It is time for our offering. We give thanks this morning for all of our offerings, both virtual and present. We bless this offering, and we're so thankful that we do receive as we give. And this offering goes out, a portion of it into our community to bless others. We're so blessed. And so it is. It's a time to thank all of you that have contributed to our service today. You've made it possible. Every one of you that are present, to the music, Teresa and Barry, and to our wonderful speaker, Sandy, and to our cameraman and our technology, Cleona. Thank you so much. Okay, so we thank you for joining us on Zoom, and you can stay on and share with each other. And we'll be going over into the fellowship hall and sharing some time together. So at this time, we will say our benediction and sing together our peace song. If you'd like to stand, that would be wonderful. Spirit in the midst of us is mighty. Joy, peace, and eternal life are our true nature and flow through us into the world. And so it is.